Hey traders, Luke D'Angio here, Breakout Trading. It's just a question that you ask when you first decide you want to start trading is how to day trade in stocks. Now, what I want to go over in this video is if you're at square one, if you're right down, you don't know anything basically but the basics, that there's stocks called Microsoft and Apple and that they've made a lot of money over the years, and you want to get into stock trading, whether that is to be for supplemental income, or if you want to do it for a living, or if you want to be filthy rich. Either way, you have to start at a certain point. You have to be down to day trading 101. So I'm going to do this video. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I am going to be somewhat informative and go into a little detail on things that you need to know. So, first off, who am I? My name is Luke D'Angio. I've been trading stocks about 9 years now, going on 10 years. Took me 6 years before I was making profits consistently, before I started having profitable years. So I'm going on about 3 years of profitability. Now, I currently have a group on Facebook. It's not really a group, it's my own personal page, but I trade live on it every day. And, I give my top picks and I help traders out. And, we are a great group. The name of the group is Breakout Trading. I'll put down in the description the link to my page, which is just facebook.com/walls from the street. And now, so what happens, right? First thing that happens is when you need to trade, you have to have something to trade on. You need to have a platform. So what's the best platform to use? Where's the best place to go if you're a new trader? I know that they have all these apps now that they didn't have many years ago when I was starting. They have Robinhood, Webull, UStockTrade, then a bunch of other ones like Acorn, but all that stuff makes trading very accessible. And the problem with that is trading is not like something you'll just pick up and you'll have a natural gift. It's not like you can be an athletic person and then you just pick up sports, you just pick up baseball and you're great at it. It doesn't have that kind of feel. It's really something more you need to study towards. An example is any kind of serious profession that you could think of, whether it's a doctor or a lawyer. They have to work up and go to school and kind of build up to get to the point where they're at. And that's the question that's commonly asked to, when someone's a trader, you'll commonly get the question, what's a quick way to make some money? It's a quick way to make some money in the market. And that answer is just that question in general. It just shows almost as if it's almost like a lack of patience. Like how can I make quick money? That's it. I just want to make quick money. There is no, quick buck. And you can't make $1 off of 10 cents worth of effort. Now, the learning curve for a trader, these are some statistics you should know before you jump into trading. 90% of traders will fail. They will blow up their first account. When I say blow up their first account, that means they will lose all the money in their account or get it to the point where they have $30 and it's no longer tradable. 90%. After the first time, the second time, it's only 50%, which is not as bad. I think that at a certain point, traders realize they can't do it on their own. The most important thing for a new trader to know is that they don't know anything. Okay. Now, when they can admit that, that's a big deal. That's good. And I love talking to traders who are basically just like, I don't know anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. That's the best. If you are in that mentality, you are able to learn, you are teachable, you are moldable. And, so let's go back to, and I wanted to add one more thing to that. This is another interesting statistic. So 90% of traders will fail. But did you know that 96% of new businesses will fail within 10 years? So you have better odds of being successful as a trader than you did if you went to go open up your own business, whether it be a brick and mortar or an internet business or whatever it is. You have better odds with trading than you do just opening up a business, the regular American dream way. So let's start with the platforms, shall we? Robinhood, terrible execution. And what do I mean by that is it's very slow at filling orders. Robinhood actually sells your trade. So when you go to buy, let's say, Apple, and you try to get it at, I don't know what it's at right now, $140, they'll intentionally slow down your transaction because they are selling the difference. And it's just the execution is too slow. And to keep it simple, I don't like Robinhood at all. I've heard horror stories of people purchasing trades, and then the next thing you know, Robinhood restricts that stock, and now you can't get out of that trade, and that trade is just going down. So right away, no Robinhood. I don't suggest getting into Robinhood. If we're going to continue to go the app route, we have another one called Webull. See, Webull is not one I'm familiar with. The only thing I know about Webull is that there is a restriction as well. And I'm not sure if that's the PDT restriction or not, but I know that there's some kind of restriction, which, by the way, in my group right now, we're doing something called the PDT Prison Breakout. So we're trying to take anybody that the average PDT account balance, and PDT, by the way, stands for Pattern Day Trading Rule. If you have an account with less than 25,000, you're subject to the Pattern Day Trading Rule, which means you can't make more than 3 trades a week, which makes it almost impossible to make money. So in my group right now, we're doing something called the PDT Prison Breakout, and what that will do essentially is, in a nutshell, is break you out of that PDT level. So we're starting at 2,500 and we're going to go all the way to 25,000. And once you hit 25,000, essentially you are no longer in the PDT threshold. And most stock brokerages will give you 4-to-1 leverage. In other words, you'll get $100,000 to trade with once you get to that $25,000 level. They let you borrow $75,000 to trade with. Now, if you're able to make it from 2,500 or 5,000 or even 1,000 or 500 all the way to 25,000, then it's safe to trade with leverage or with borrowed money from the brokerage. But in the beginning, I want everybody to trade on a cash account in this particular challenge that we're doing, because there's no PDT restrictions on a cash account. You can make as many trades as you want as long as you don't exhaust your cash. Now that brings me to the next one. There is an app, and this might be the only one I consider. I don't like Webull, I don't like Robinhood, but this one is called, I'm going to show you. Okay, so this one is called Use Stock Trade. If you want to go the at route, if you have no choice, if you're working and you can only trade on the phone, I mean, this is probably your best route. It's unlimited day trades. You're not subjected to that PDT rule. They have overnight clearing. as opposed to pretty much every other brokerage. If you trade a stock and you sell it, if you buy and sell a stock in the same day, let's say $1,000 worth of stock, it takes 2 days for that money to clear. So if all you have in your account is $1,000 and you use it one day, you won't be able to use that money again for another 2 days. So use stock trade is convenient in that they have overnight clearing. If you use that $1,000, it'll be ready for you the next day. Their commissions are cheap, $1 a trade, and a dollar monthly membership fee. And they trade on a dark pool. They don't trade on the secondary market. And what that basically means is they trade the stocks within their own network, which is something a little different. But obviously, now we're still kind of on where do you go, and where do you put your money to trade. And this is if you really need an app. But my number one recommendation is TD Ameritrade. They have great apps. They have like 3. They have great apps. You can trade online. Their platforms are incredible. They have a platform. If you go down and you see here, tools and platforms, even if you just sign up with TD to get this platform, it's a platform called Thinkorswim, and here it is right here. It is the biggest innovation that has come out for traders, and I think it has changed the game for people wanting to day trade. Not only, I think I have it open here. Yeah. Not only does it have great chart analysis. Now, I know if you're new and you're looking at this, you don't know what the heck is going on. Don't worry about it. It takes time. Right now, you might only be familiar with a regular line chart, and that's okay. This is pretty much similar to a line chart, only it gives a little more information. But I highly, highly recommend you download this. When you are a new trader, you are not going to be doing what's called fundamental trading. You're going to be doing day trading. You're going to be doing technical analysis. And for that, you need a great platform to help you do technical analysis. Now, all these little features and all these little extra lines that you see, these are studies that help me determine which direction the stock is headed. So once you can understand this, and it looks like a lot, but look at it again. It's not much. It's really not much. And it can be taught to you, and it's pretty simple to understand. It just looks a little foreign if you're new. Okay, so again, I suggest opening up a cash account, and I want to make that like crystal clear. When you start day trading, now I want you to start with a cash account. Cash. Okay, so why a cash account? Again, because you won't be subject to that pattern day trading rule, which limits you to only 3 trades a week. You could trade as much as you want as long as your cash is available. So, for example, if you have $5,000 in your account, you trade one day $2,500. Let's say Monday you trade $2,500. Well, now you have to wait for that $2,500 to clear if you bought and sold in the same day. And it takes 2 days to do that. So that $2,500 won't be available until Wednesday. But on Tuesday, you'll have that other $2,500 to trade with. And then when Wednesday comes around, the funds will be available for Monday. And you can continue trading in this, it's kind of like a toggle kind of formation, and trade every day if need be. You don't have to trade every day. As a matter of fact, I don't suggest it. If you don't see something, don't trade. Don't feel like you have to trade because, hey, I'm a trader. But definitely Thinkorswim. First you download TD Ameritrade, then you can download Thinkorswim. And even if you do want to choose use stock trade to trade, I still suggest getting TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim, a cash account. Especially if you have a balance below $25,000. If you have a balance above $25,000, well, first of all, if you're very new, I don't know if you want to risk that much. Maybe you should consider starting out with a smaller balance anyway. But because again, statistically, 90% of new traders will blow up their account. So I don't know if you want to throw 25,000, 30,000, 100,000, whatever you have in your account. It's better to start slow. I recommend 5,000, 10,000. And if you're profitable with that, then you move on. And there's another option on here. It's something called simulated trading, where you don't actually have to trade your real money. You can just practice with it's like fake money. And that's another option I suggest. So paper trading is another thing that's very important. So far right now, the two things that are very important, and maybe I suggest taking notes, is you want to have TD Ameritrade, cash account, right? And then you want to download Thinkorswim. All right. And if you really wanted to have an app on the phone, again, you could use stock trade, as the funds clear overnight and you can trade every day. Now, moving on, I went over the candlestick charts as opposed to regular charts a little bit, and I think I had a little thing here to explain that a little better. Candlesticks are pretty simple. I mean, they're basically just showing you within that minute what was the highest price it was sold at and what was the lowest price it was sold at, and it's really nothing more than that. So if you look at this top one, a red candle means it went down. A clear or green candle means it went up. So you could see that it opened here at this level and it closed here at this top level, but it went as far as from here to here within that minute. Okay, and you can also have 5-minute candles, 30-minute candles, 1-day candles, weekly candles. It just gives you a better view of what the stock is doing, and it's very important for technical analysis. Now that that's done and that's done, and obviously TD Ameritrade is what I recommend, a cash account to get started, to get out of that PDT prison, as we call it, because that's what it is. It's a prison. It keeps you restricted. It's almost, when we took the poll in my group, it was almost fascinating. It was pretty much you were way above the or above the $25,000 mark, or you were like below 5,000. There was no really in between. There was a couple in betweens, but for the most part, there's this huge gap, and there's a reason for that. Once you're like below 5,000, you kind of tend to lose when you're new. Remember, there's a 90% chance that you will. And then you have the people who are above. Either they're doing well or they just put a lot of money into the account. All right, so boom. Now you have TD Ameritrade. You have Thinkorswim. You uploaded, let's say, $2,500 or $1,000 or $5,000. Now what? Now what? Well, what most traders use are things called scanners. And scanners help them find stocks to play throughout the day. And here on Thinkorswim, you can see here at the top, it has a little button that says scan. It actually has a scanner here that will show you, what stocks are high, what stocks are low, and you can analyze them after that. And obviously, there's a criteria, which I'll go over a little later in the video, of things that you're actually looking for. So for example, you have this one up here, paid, P-A-Y-D. It's a nice price, $350, up 18%. The volume's only 2,700 shares. Now, let me mute that. Now, but if you look at the share size or the float size, that is very low. Now, this might mean nothing to you, and this might look like chicken scratch to you if you're brand new, but don't worry, we're going to get to it in just a couple of minutes. So this is one scanner you can use, the scanner on Thinkorswim. It's a little complicated. Another scanner I truly suggest, and I think that this is probably the best one, and it comes with so many other features as well, is Benzinga Pro. It just look how clean and clear that scanner is. It gives you news on a regular basis, and you can look up, you can find out earnings on certain stocks, and it tells you right here this company's earnings just came out, and you have other features like the calendar where you could look up for when certain companies' earnings are coming out. You have something called the squawk box on here, where throughout the day you don't have to be keeping your eyes on the news or the scanner. The squawk box will alert you that, hey, such and such is going up at a very rapid rate, up $5 or whatever it is, and or it'll say, hey, Tesla just declared bankruptcy or something like that, and then hey, I got a short Tesla or whatever. But this is another great scanner, Benzinga Pro. It's not too pricey considering there are scanners out there that are thousands of dollars. But they do give you a free 2-week trial. I will put a link for everything I'm suggesting. I will add below in the description. Yeah, they do offer a free trial. I know that much, and I think I have a 25% code that I could share as well. Another scanner, and personally the one I use, this is a little more on the expensive side, but at the end of the day, it's kind of worth it. Is called Trade Ideas, and it's actually an artificial intelligence software, and they have their own person. You can see here, Holly is her name, and she trades throughout the day, and she's like very, very accurate. It shows you her scores. Here, I'll show you right here. She's 18-0 on Holly Grail. So she picked 18 stocks today, and 18 of them were winners. Then you got Holly 2.0, who picked 6 stocks. They were all winners. And Holly Neo picked 11 stocks. They were all winners. That's pretty incredible. Not a single losing pick today. It's a little unusual. Usually you'll see a couple losers. But what we do as traders is in the morning, we try to figure out what stocks are going to go up. So you can see here we have this morning, this is the pre-market scanner, and it tells us so much information. We will come back to this. By the way, I have a link for Holly. It's free if you guys don't want to pay. I think this is like $100 to $200 a month, depending on what you get. But if you're in my my Facebook page, I'm always showing this scanner. So I mean, that's something you don't have to pay for if you could just watch me. Now that we got scanners down, so we got platforms and we got scanners. So now you have a place to put your money. And again, I suggest not putting too much in the beginning, because remember, the odds are against you. And what we're doing here is we're going to switch the odds in your favor and, reduce that 90% to, let's maybe make it, we'll give you like a 50-50% in the beginning. And then depending on how hard you work and how serious you take this and how much you really want to make money. If you really want to make money and you really want to do well trading and you really want to do this for a living and live a nice lifestyle and do all that, then you will take this seriously. Me personally, I haven't worked like a job in a very long while. I pay my rent. I purchase my car. I do everything by trading, and I'm comfortable. I'm financially stable, financially independent, and that's a great feeling. And that's all from trading, and it's all a certain strategy. That's it. I have a strategy down. I stick to it, and it works. Not 100% of the time. There's always going to be losses. That's the cost of doing business. There's not a single trader in the world who's 100% accurate. But okay, now, so we're going to blow, we got scanners, the amount of money, the brokerage. Now, you might be asking this question. What the hell am I looking for? what the heck do you have on your screen? What was that scanner on Thinkorswim? What do I look for? And what do new traders typically do? They say, oh, I got to go into a chat room and look what they're trading, and maybe that'll go up, or I got to go, do some research on companies. That's it. I'll do research. I'll find companies that are going to explode, and I'll research in those. Or maybe you fall for the guy getting on the jet saying, hey, this is how we do it. Every day we go on jets. No, he doesn't. But it's just, they'll get you. They'll get you, those people. And I want to tell you right away, you're not going to be a millionaire in your first year. If you do well, maybe in 3 years, 2 years if you're really sharp. It's not so much about being sharp. It's about having the right guidance and the right strategy. But maybe in 2-3 years, you'll hit that $1 million mark. And once you hit that $1 million mark, that's it. You're set. You don't even have to trade anymore at that point. Because remember, you'll get 4-to-1 leverage or 4 times your money. So for $1 million, you get $4 million from TD Ameritrade. And you can kind of just let your money work for you at that point. And still day trade on the side because it's what you enjoy doing. Now, if this is not something you enjoy doing and you don't have the passion for it, you're going to have to take a beating from time to time. Just remember that. So you're not going to take a beating for something you're not passionate for. I've seen traders that have had one losing trade and they've given up completely. I said, well, losing trades are going to happen. But, so again, back to the question. What the hell am I looking for? Now, this part is important, and I think you should take notes. Day traders are typically looking for something in particular all the time. And that something is float. You're going to hear this word a lot as a day trader. Float, 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 float. In particular, low float. Now, what the heck is a float? And let's get to that. Because all right, so I took the liberty of looking up the most basic definition. The term float refers to the regular shares a company has issued to the public that are available for investors to trade. Similarly, the creation and trading of options on a stock do not affect the float. Forget about options for now. You know what? Let me before I jump into float, let me go into some things I want you to stay away from, because I know we're in the what the hell we're looking for phase right now, but I'm going to take a step back, and this is what I want you to stay away from. I want you to stay away from stocks that are under $1, okay? Anything under $1, I want you to stay away from. Forget it. Forget the penny stock, wishful thinking. It's 2 cents. It could go to $1 million, $5, and I'll be a millionaire. Forget it. Because if it's 2 cents and it goes to 1 cent, you lost half your money. So please, in the beginning at least, stay away from anything under $1. Second, I want you to stay away from options in the beginning. All these new apps and, they make it so easily accessible to trade options, and new traders should not be trading options. That is like arithmetic and calculus and algebra. You need to get mathematics 101. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, and even 5 times 5 is 25, and that kind of stuff down before you jump into options, because there's a lot that goes into it. You should not get into options really until you are profitable in stocks and understand it, because options will destroy you. I'm telling you, options will destroy you. If you're new and you don't know what you're doing, you don't jump into options. You have to understand the basic stocks first and how to trade those. Another thing I want you to stay away from is other people's tips. People will always have tips. Buy this, it's going to do amazing. Buy that, it's going to do amazing. Listen, I don't know. Me personally, if I lose money, I want to lose money on a decision that I made on a stock that I've picked. And then last, please stay away from the get-rich-quick schemes. Not everyone out there is a get-rich-quick scheme. There are certain people that you could tell they have an honest look to them. Just have an honesty about them. And towards the end of the video, I will go over certain people I like. Oh yeah, and let me add that one person. But I'll go over certain people I like. And I'm not going to go over anybody I don't like, because that's just not my place. But anybody promising you to get rich quick and that they'll pick all the trades for you and you do nothing but just sit back and make money, please, I'm telling you, it's a bunch of crap. And they will probably be super expensive as well. Just please avoid those at all costs. So back to float. Float reverts to, so we're going to go over what the hell you're looking for right now. So when you're looking for stocks, one thing you want to find is the float. Now, if you can see here on Trade Ideas, it has a little column here at the end that says float. And this basically tells you how many shares are available. So when a company goes public and says we're going to issue stock to try to raise capital, because that's what stock is, it's a company basically trying to raise capital, and in return, you're supposed to get appreciation in stock price. It's more for a long-term thing. This company, let's look at this one, because this is one we traded today, has a low float. I like floats less than 40 million. This one just made the cut. The float is 37 million. Okay? So that's the first thing you're looking for. Second thing you're looking for, volume. And you can see here's the volume right here today. This stock has 37 million shares but traded 31 million shares of volume. That's a big deal. Something more normal, here's one like this one traded 1.9 million shares, traded hands, meaning that's what volume is. It's just how many stocks were bought and sold that day. So 1.9 million shares were bought and sold on OSBN, and they have a float of 27 million. So volume is basically that. I don't think I need to show you the actual definition. It's just how many shares actually exchanged hands. Here's the definition. Volume is the number of shares or contracts, but forget that, number of shares traded in a security or an entire market during a given period of time. So in this particular case, we're talking that's how many shares of volume were traded in a day. So those are the first things you're looking for, is volume, float. Now, once you get volume and float down, because you're always going to be looking for stocks with very low volume and very very low floats and very high volume. That's what we're looking for most of the time. And we want them to be up. This is the percentage that they're up. At least 10 to 15%. I say 15 or better. Okay? Now, what else are you looking for in the what the hell am I looking for column, right? Breakouts. Breakouts. Those are the best things to trade are breakouts. Why? Because when breakouts happen, it is what it sounds like. When a breakout, so let's say that this is a stock here, right? And it's going like this, right? Now you can kind of see that there's a little bit of a channel here, right? There's a little bit of a channel here. Now, let's say this stock breaks out of this channel, right? It breaks out. It's actually, if certain factors fall in place, and I'm going to give you those factors, there's a 95% chance that this stock will never go back down into that channel. If you play these, you can use what's called a 0 to 1 stop loss. And that means your purchase point right here, when it broke out the channel, it will never go below that. So you don't have to worry about risk management, about losing anything. Oh no, I'm down. What do I do? Because what do all new traders do when they're down, right? Stock, let's look at it right here. The stock is trading, it's going up, and then it goes down, and they say, oh, they bought right here. Let's pretend they bought right here. They say, oh no, it's going down. It'll go back up, right? It'll go back up. Maybe it does a little one on the, and then it goes down more. And then what do you say? You say, oh, shoot, now I'm down $500. It better go back up. And then it goes here, down even more. And now you're down $1,000 and you're like, oh my God, I have to sell it. And here's the great thing. This always happens, like clockwork. Goes down a little more, you sell it, you lose, let's say $1,500. And what typically happens, I don't know why, it's a phenomenon. You don't realize that you just sold at a resistance point or at a pivot point, and it starts to bounce back up. And you already sold at this point. All that torture, all that hell that you have to go through, it's terrible. It's terrible. Forget all that. We're going to trade breakouts are the best way to go, because you never have to worry about it coming back down and, oh, when do I get out? No. Breakouts, under certain conditions, have a 95% chance of never coming back down into that channel. At least that day. I'm not saying forever. I'm saying at least that day. What are some of the conditions that create this 95% guarantee that it's not going to go down? Well, one is new highs. Right? So if a stock is going up, 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 and hits new highs, in particular, the 52-week high, right? So if it hits new highs, in particular, especially the 52-week high, you have this 95% chance breakout chance that it won't come back down and you don't have to even worry about risk management. Let me show you an example. Let me just show you an example real quick. Here's a stock right here, NBEV. Pretty popular company. It was picked up by Constellation Brands, which is the company that makes all the beer and all that. And anyway, I want you to look at a 1 year on this chart. Now, forget all this stuff on the bottom. You don't need to know any of that. But the stock popped up just below $10. That's another thing you need to know. So we're looking at new highs, right? New highs. We're looking for 52-week highs, which means it's the highest point it hit in a year. And we're also looking for whole numbers. Whole numbers are always great breakouts. A stock that breaks $10, $20, $30 is way more likely to break out and continue to go up than if it breaks like 536. Whole numbers like $10. This one can't seem to break $10. I don't know if you can see, but that says $9.99. So what's up with this one? It's trending up. Eventually, it's going to get to this $10 mark again. And when it does hit this $10 mark again, well, what do we got going on? We have a 52-week high that's about to be broken, a whole number, a new high. When this hits $10, this is 95% chance likely that it'll shoot up to $11, $12, and so on. Now, what's some extra kickers? Let's just say. Some extra kickers to make sure that that breakout continues to happen like that is, let's say on that day that it's about to break $10, we get some big news, right? What's big news? Okay, it's a marijuana stock. Big news for a marijuana stock. We have the elections coming up soon. 15 states legalized marijuana. That's huge. That's big news. And since NBEV is working with Constellation Brands, they have legalized, marijuana-infused beverages. Big news. Other examples of big news that don't really pertain to this stock is mergers and acquisitions. Traders love mergers and acquisitions, meaning a company's got taken over by another company. Those breakouts are almost always insane. Another examples of big news is earnings. Great earnings. Let's say this is actually due for some earnings soon. It looks like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so NBEV is due some earnings. If this has great earnings, right, it's almost guaranteed to break 10. And when it breaks 10, you don't have to worry about it coming back down. Now, that being said, there's one more thing. We got entries and exits. So we know that breakouts is our entry. Entry. That does not say entry. Entry. Now, how do you decide exits? Because same thing I was just saying before. Typically, when a trader gets into a stock and then it starts to go down, 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 down. They let it make them broke before they get out. But if they get into a trade and it goes up 2 cents, they say, I'm out. I'm out because why? They don't want to lose it. They just made money. They made whatever, $10. They don't want to lose it. You have to remember this. You cut your losers immediately. If you see red on your screen, you kill red. No losers. Why would you hold something that's taking money away from you? You kill red, especially when you're trading breakouts. You destroy red. Now, so you destroy red and then exit points. Sorry. So in terms of exit points, a few things you could do with exit points. There are certain numbers that stocks will hit and hit resistance at. So this might break $10 and then go to $10.50 and hit resistance. And by that I mean it starts to have trouble breaking that $10.50. You might consider, oh well, it hit $10.49, went down. Let me take my profit at $10.45. So sometimes it's a matter of just discretion and watching. But on breakouts, you want to let your winners run. Let them run as much as you can. And, another thing for exits that are important is something called pivot points. This is very important, and it takes quite a while to explain, but stocks automatically have levels of resistance and support that you can't see without a study. They're called R1s, R2s, and S1s, S2s, resistance 1, resistance 2s. But those can be used to gauge kind of where to get in at and where to get out at. And I'll give you an example. So this morning I traded KNDI. And look at this. So what do we already have going on here, guys? We already have, it clearly broke out. You can see that it broke out, right? Broke out right here. This is a yearly chart, by the way. And so this is 1 year. It hit new highs and a 52-week high at that. It was up on news. It had big news. Yeah, so it had all those things going for it. Now, where do you get in and where do you get out? So let's look at the daily chart and then let's look at what I actually did. So now, again, remember, I'm trading the PDT Prison Breakout account right now. So we're using a limited amount of money. But Sorry. Um, so today in the pre-market, you can see this is the pre-market, this little gray shaded area. This shot up from $5.75 all the way to just below $8. So it literally hit resistance at $8, which is a whole number. So boom, that's another factor. We have a whole number there. Then out the market, so we wait for the market to open before we trade. We don't trade the pre-market, usually not. So the market opens and what happens? The stock drops. Now, because I foreknew these pivot points, I knew that there was a pivot point right at this level here around $7, just around $7. So when it fell, I wasn't worried that it was going to drop. I knew that there was a pivot point right here. So what did I do? I picked it up right here. And it ended up shooting all the way up to like 8.30 or 8.20. And I think I got out at 8.10, 8.15, something like that. But that was the trade that was made this morning. And it was a great trade. I made almost a whole dollar. I think I made 80 cents on this trade this morning. And everything I'm saying can be confirmed live on my Facebook page. I'm not making this up. So using pivot points, I was able to figure out a great entry right around here at the bottom and let it run, and get out. And my exit point was about 8.10, 8.20 because it was starting to hit resistance here. There's certain candles I'm looking at, like this is called a shooting star and a doji, and there's certain things that, after you've been doing this a while, you start to identify when a trend is going down or changing or whatever it is. But guys, the point is, what's very important, and a few things I want to go over is, if you want to start trading, I want you to pick up this book, guys. It's actually on sale right now on Amazon. I'll add a link if you would like. But this is a book you need to read. And this is what my mentor made me read. Met my mentor about 3 years ago, and he changed my life. Guys, that's what changed my life. If I just went into this on my own and tried to figure it out, I would never have figured it out. The fact that I had met a mentor and he had taught me, and he said, read this, do that, listen to this, I literally trade with my mentor in the back of my head while I'm trading. Like, I know what he would say if I was doing something wrong. Like, why would you get in that? That doesn't look like a good entry point. It's not a pivot point. It's not a breakout. That's a ridiculous trade. But this is a great book right here. How to Trade in Stock by Jesse Livermore with commentary. Make sure it's the one with commentary by Richard Smitten. Great book right there. Another thing is YouTube. Go on YouTube and just look up educational videos and just anything you can learn. Couple people on YouTube that are good, that I personally like, and let me just pull up. Let me minimize this so you can see. And so a couple people that I like on YouTube are, I like this guy, this Clay Trader guy. He's very good. He's sharp. He's got a lot of videos, a lot of stuff here, and he's very good. I would also YouTube Finviz. That's a whole other thing, but there's a website called Finviz, Finviz. Videos on how to use Finviz, but that's jumping ahead a little far. I like him. I like Clay Trader, and I like this guy as well, Garen Phillips. Garen Phillips is pretty good. He's not really like a trader per se, but I guess he is now. He used to do like engineering and stuff, and now he does trading. So he is very good as well. These are two guys that I recommend. I also recommend, obviously, myself, and this is my page, facebook.com Luke D'Angelo. Again, I do all my trading. Here's the PDT, Prison Breakout challenge that we're doing. I used Prison Break when they found all the money. I don't know if anybody knows that show, but it was a great show as my like little thing for that. And we trade live on here. Every morning we trade live. You know, if you want, I have a special channel where you can, you know, because Facebook has a time delay. So sometimes trading with a time delay is not good because I'll be in and out of a trade in 30 seconds. And the time delay on Facebook could be up to 40 seconds on a screen share. So I have this program here of the PDT Prison Breakout. And as you can see, I have this. Needless to say, everything went really, really well. You know, our top pick of the day, as you can see, with people if you have questions and things like that. Yeah. I do offer mentorship. Was the but I'm running low on those tickets. So I don't know. By the time you see this, they'll probably be top pick of the day this morning was Riot over $3. Riot is now running at anybody on this page. We're trying to teach people how to do things. That's why you can watch all my stuff for free. There's nobody that's going to let you watch their entire trading session for free. I have the text alerts and the webinar. It's all just a great learning experience. We can do this together. If you are starting and you want to do this, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to do this together. Also on my page, I have someone, he's actually my cousin, my blood cousin, Antonio Nasta, used to run a hedge fund and is actually planning on running another hedge fund. He comes in and he gives his picks. His picks are more for people that have a decent amount of money because he trades $100 stocks and $200 stocks and he chases dollars. And you know, so that's a different style of trading for when you're just starting. You know, anyway, guys, I think I went over everything. If you have any questions, you could put it in the comment section or the, what do you call that, on YouTube, the messaging section below. Yeah, the comment section. And let me see here, blow that up. Oh. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you took some notes. If you have any questions, again, contact section. Breakout traders, you are the best. We are just at 200 members now in Breakout trading. So that is amazing for just starting, not even a month ago. And I am just literally going to continue doing what I'm doing and helping traders turn into a profitable trader. Again, it takes about 9 years to do so. We're going to turn the learning curve down to a year, maybe 6 months, get you profitable running and out of PDT. The goal to get out of PDT, and I'm doing it with you, I'm starting at the very bottom, at the average account level for people in PDT. So I'm doing it with you, and we're going to get out. So far, Tuesday and Wednesday, we started this week, were great days. We have to make at least 2 to 4% a day to do this within 13 to 20 weeks. So we did our about 2% yesterday. It was like 1.8%, and we did 3 and 3.1% today. So as long as we keep that going, we'll be doing great. Anyway, guys, again, I'll post all the links and everything I mentioned down below. You guys are the best. And Breakout trading, I'm out.